So here's my thought of the day: the importance of mentorship. The importance of mentorship. So Bob Proctor passed away. He was 88 years old. He lived a very big life, a full life. He's a legacy. He's a legend, and his work lives on in a lot of us, actually. And I feel very grateful to be able to be one of those people. But I wanted to talk about the importance of mentorship because I want to distill a couple things. If I had to I thought about this a lot over the weekend, like what were the biggest things I learned from him? And there were so many. But one of them, and the thing I think is one of the most important, is that prior to working with Proctor, I had a lot of different mentors. I always very much believed in mentorship. I think I had mentors like over the last 20 years, and they've all played significant parts in my life. However, he taught me that mentorship is not about, see, one of the immature ways that we view often mentorship, and this was myself included, when I would hire someone as a mentor, I felt like it was like a mothering kind of relationship. They needed to see me. They needed to validate me. They needed to it was like getting their approval. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And if they didn't see me, or if they didn't approve of me, it was like I projected things onto them. And we can go into all the reasons why we do that. I think at this point, you pretty much already know. It's like we sort of call people into our life to heal the trauma that we have and the wounds that we have with our parents. I had this with you earlier on. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have had that with me and maybe still do. And so this conversation will be really, really profound. So I had it like mentors were responsible for me. And what he taught me, when I really distill some of the things that Proctor ingrained in my mind, one of them was, it's not about me seeing you, it's about you seeing yourself in me. And I want you to write that down. You all chose me in the way that I chose him and other mentors, because there's something about me that you see in yourself. And it's not about me seeing anyone or validating. It's actually about us being a mirror reflection. So he actually taught me the importance of mature mentorship, not coming from a place of like, you're my parent, you're my father, you're my mother, you need to love me, you need to approve of me, you need to see me, you need to comment on all my things. You know, it's about, I see something in myself. I see something in you is gravitating me to you because there's something I see for myself in you, which puts us on a level playing field, not on a pedestaled playing field. Does that make sense? The other thing that he taught me, well, very much how to think about life. And that knowledge now in history has served me better than I think any other thing that I've learned. Because one of the things that Proctor distilled was learning how to see the truth and think the truth, regardless of appearances. So with what's going on in the world right now, it's a lot of appearances. And because he taught me the foundation of how to think according to the spiritual laws, the universal laws, and the truth, I have been able very much to see a lot of things that I would have never been able to see had I not had that training. And that's some of the things I've distilled onto you guys, how to think. Always telling you, how do you think about things? And the how to think tells you what you believe. So how are you going to think? Are you going to think according to truth or according to your paradigm? Are you going to think according to truth, like the universal truths, or according to your fears? The other thing that he taught me was, I think one of the first things I ever heard Proctor say in a seminar that I went to was, if you can see it in your mind, you can feel it in your hand. And I remember that being like, if you know anything about Bob, like that's a very Bob thing. Like if you can see it in your mind, you can feel it in your hand. And we talked so much about that last week when I talked about you wouldn't have the intellectual faculties if it weren't for your ability to manifest. And you wouldn't be able to see something in your mind if it wasn't already created in the spiritual context. So anything that you can imagine, you can create. This lesson like gave me, see, here's the thing about mentorship, the other piece is that you calibrate not only to the person's knowledge, but to their belief system. You know, how many times have I said, believe in my belief and it will create the fact? Like, believe in my belief for you, and eventually that belief will become yours. I believed in his belief and it became mine. That is priceless. There's no price you can put on that. And then the other thing that I thought of was very much this idea of, he used to always say, you know, you have the power of God flowing within through you, each and every one of us. And whenever you're feeling doubtful, and whenever you're feeling afraid, and whenever you're feeling resigned, and whenever you're feeling like it's not working, remember that you have the power of God flowing within through you. And that's pretty miraculous. So I want to take it one step further. The other thing, kind of back to this idea of mentorship and putting the mentor on a pedestal, or having it that they need to mother you or parent you, or projecting a lot of your beliefs onto them, you know, just projections in general happen in mentorship relationships a lot. And that's one of the things he really disseminated for me, because he was the kind of guy that didn't, how do I explain this? Like, you couldn't project onto Bob, even if you tried. He would just like be like, nope, not mine. Like, there was just no projection possible. He was like this immovable, no projection possible. And that was really powerful for me, because it had me see how much I projected onto other people. Does that make sense? Raise your hand if that makes sense. Yeah, like, this person is supposed to do a certain thing. Okay. So one of the things I also thought about when I was thinking about his legacy is he helped me redefine competition and jealousy. So in the world of coaching and in the world of entrepreneurship, there can be a lot of competition and jealousy. Raise your hand if you've ever been competitive or jealous of peers in your life. Okay, very good. This is a good conversation to have. Okay. This is like a channeling Bob moment, because honestly, him passing on my birthday, like, was really, really strange. So I shouldn't say strange, I should say karmic. So one of the things that I very much learned from Bob was that through the teachings of the science of getting rich, is that there is no competition. Like, on the competitive plane, we don't become rich because there's more than enough to go around. And in the universe, there's only abundance. And but in the world, like, because we are programmed with competition to survive, essentially, we're very much like, if she has it, I can't have it, or I've got to go take what she has, or I've got to go steal her content, or I've got to go take the thing. I've got to go. It's a very much of a getting energy, because we're conditioned as children to get, because there's almost not enough to go around. Does that make sense? All of you have had certain experiences. I know some of you have shared, like, Adele, this person started a business and it's basically a copy of mine. Well, you know that that person was coming from scarcity when they did that. Now, for me, what I learned with Bob is not only is there no competition, there's only creation. Because, like, I very much believe that there's not only is there abundance in the universe, there's more resources than we'll ever use in infinite lifetimes. So I very much am like, I have no need to copy or to take from anyone, because there is more where that came from. So abundance says there's more than enough to go around, but we're biologically conditioned with survival, so we think there's not enough to go around. But here's what I want to add that I think is really empowering. Okay. When you see and have a mentor in your life, or you find someone that you resonate with, you work with them because not only do you calibrate, and when I say calibrate, do you understand what the word calibration means? Raise your hand if you don't know what calibration means. Don't be shy if you don't know. Okay, so I'll say it anyway. Calibration means you energetically basically harmonize to what they know. So calibration is like in physics, like you basically harmonize. So not only do you calibrate to their knowledge and their belief system, which levels you up, but then you add on your own knowledge, skill, and belief system, and you create something different and new and better. Does that make sense? So what does that mean? You're here calibrating to my knowledge and my belief, okay? But you also have your own skill sets and knowledge that I don't know. So take what I'm teaching you and then add your flavor and it becomes your own. So it's not, I want to be like her. It's actually, I want what she has as well is very different than I want to be like her or him. Does that make sense? I'm going to say that again, is really important. I want to be like that as well is abundance. I want to take that is scarcity. So it's about taking what the knowledge and then transmuting that knowledge with your own mastery skill set and in creative intelligence and your own unique imprint. And that creates more and something new, as opposed to trying to take what someone's doing and make it the same or some version of that. I want you to think about, this is something I want you to journal on. We have a lot of shame and guilt around feeling jealous. Anyone here ever had shame or guilt around feeling jealous or competitive? Okay, let's take that out and actually redefine jealousy. And I want you to ask yourself this question. How can I redefine my definition of jealousy? So it's like, how can I make it look like more like I like what this person is doing? I would like that as well, as opposed to I'm trying to take something and make it my own when it's not my own. Yeah, it tells us what we want. Exactly. It's like, I want that too. That's a positive, abundant way to reframe competition and jealousy. And it's a good sign. Like jealousy can be, and competition can be a good sign if it's used in the right way. It's not a good sign if it's like, let me take this person's stuff and make it my own. It's more like, let me look at how they're doing it because I want to do it too. The how they're doing versus what they're doing is actually more important. Please write that down. How the person is doing it, not what they're doing. You can never do what someone else is doing because it's their own unique imprint. And we spend so much time trying to do things like other people, like in their own voice. You can't. It comes off inauthentic, right? So I want you to sit with, how can I redefine jealousy? Like I like what Sarah just put there. It tells us what we want. Yeah. And it actually says, I want that too. I want to calibrate to that person's experience, knowledge, so that I can go there too and add my own unique flavor. And then I can see, because like I learned from Bob, but I also learned from like 10 other mentors in my life. And I took the knowledge and the belief and the calibration coupled with my own unique personality and my own way of distilling it. And I created my own language, if that makes sense. Like you all kind of laugh about my, like it's my own expression of the work. I didn't create the work. I deliver the work in my own creation. And there's a big difference, right? So how can you create your own expression of things in your own way, and understand that mentorship is about calibrating to someone's belief and knowledge, but it's about making your own. It's also, mentorship is about seeing yourself in your mentor, not them needing to see you in a certain light or baby you or like love you like your mother never did, etc. This is not the role of the mentor. The mentor is not your friend. Like they're not your best friend. They're not and this is important because there can get a lot of enmeshment. The mentor is there to raise your frequency up because you see something and you want to calibrate to that vibration and go with them together. Like I see myself as walking with you guys, I'm a few steps ahead because of my experience, but I'm not better and I'm not different and I'm walking with you on this path. And we have to also understand that when we project onto other people, we have to be responsible for that projection. These are the lessons that some of the very many that I learned from Bob that have made me the mentor that I am today, right? So I wanted to pay respects to Bob Proctor. He, 88 years old, lived an incredible life. He leaves an incredible legacy. I'm very grateful that he was on my path. And I still feel his presence and will forever be one of the people that are on my path. And I just wanted to share some of these wisdoms with you today, and take that on for yourself. Like really look at, am I still projecting certain things? Am I looking to be seen versus can I shift it to, I see something in myself in this person and I want to calibrate to their knowledge and their belief system and rise up together, going together. Okay. All right, everybody. I love you guys and I'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye-bye.